Hello, my beautiful Virgo. How are you doing? My name is SimplyVelca, and today, darling, I'm going to be doing your weekly tarot horoscope reading. So if you find any cards that resonate with you in this weekly message, be sure to let me know, Virgo, in the comments below which cards do and how they do, because that is how I keep up with y'all, is through the comments. As well, Virgo, if you do enjoy this tarot reading today, or you just enjoy my vibe, I would really appreciate it if you were to give this video a like and subscribe, because it does help me out a lot, Virgo, and I am super appreciative of it when you guys take that extra step to do that for me. But remember, Virgo, to rely on your intuition, because to put it in perspective, I'm just a man reading some tarot cards to you. You know your situation better than I ever possibly could, so take the cards that resonate, leave what doesn't. I believe these cards are just here to give you some food for thought, a perspective for you to consider as you go throughout your day, darling, but never making the choices in your life, Virgo. So with all that being said, let's just jump into your weekly horoscope reading today. The title of your video, Virgo, and the theme of this week for you is going to be the humor card. 4 for numerology, number 49, but it's humor, Virgo, and I'm going to put that as the title, darling, for you. This is almost a message just directly, Virgo, for you to start finding reasons to smile, Virgo. I don't want this to sound like a depressing message, but it's almost as if you need to have some sort of reminder of the good in the world, that there is still good in the world. I feel like some of you guys need to just have that moment, be like, oh, okay, right? You're just going through like a little bit of a storm, but there's still some good people out there. There's still, you know, just taking things with a grain of salt. And I know that sounds dismissive, doesn't it, Virgo? Because it's like you're experiencing those real things, and it doesn't feel like just a grain of salt, honey. It feels much more. But, you know, even if you're going through a hard time, if you can find ways to just laugh about it. You know, I personally love dark humor, personally. I feel like dark humor is... obviously it's just biased, but I'm not telling you to have dark humor, Virgo, but, you know, maybe just learn to laugh about some things, right? So let's get into some deeper messages with this. Let's dive deeper with this card, Virgo. Starting this out with 3 cards. We have coming in here the Queen of Swords, the 6 of Wands, as well as the 8 of Wands coming in here. So, Virgo, you guys wanted to have some movement. You guys wanted to have some victory. You guys wanted to have your cake and eating it too, darling, huh? You guys wanted to... I'm getting the message of where it's like you guys were just kind of expecting yourselves to be a lot further than where you're currently at, Virgo. You almost are just like disappointed in like where you've gotten to this point, which is the bummer, right? Queen of Swords comes in like, darling, this is you, Virgo, right? This is who you are exuding this week. And you know, the Queen of Swords is an individual who it's not just, you don't become the Queen of Swords overnight. This is through going through a lot of character development, right? This is someone who's able to take a stand for themselves, someone that, you know, they had to go through a lot of rough periods to really fully embrace being able to be the Queen of Swords, being able to take care of themselves, being able to handle themselves. So Virgo, some of you guys are not giving yourselves enough credit. Some of you guys are just not being kind to yourselves in general, and just being overly critical on yourself, you know. 6 of Wands with the 8 of Wands being the inverted for you. This comes in as the message, Virgo, of where you wanted to have more movement. You wanted to, it just feels as if you saw yourself a lot further than where you currently are. And here's the message, Virgo, right? Well, I'm not going to just spend too much time chastising you about it, because I get it, darling. Like, we all have those kind of moments with ourselves at some point or another. We're all only human, of course, right? It just means you have a high standard for yourself, right? Nothing wrong with that. But you don't want to push yourself and take this in a self-deprecating way. Acknowledge the fact that some people are not, like, where you are at currently, Virgo, is in a position where many people are praying for. Many people are wishing their 1111s on, is to be in the position that you are currently in, Virgo. Remember that. And just because you may not be where you is necessarily envisioned yourself doesn't mean you failed at anything, right? It just means that you have a pretty good sense for where you want to be in the future. It means you just have a very good idea of where you want to go in your path. Virgo, right? Let's close off this energies. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, so the Wheel of Fortune brings in this very powerful, positive message for you, Virgo, in that things are changing into your favor. Things are working out. You may not see it immediately, Virgo, but they're working themselves out. The Wheel of Fortune comes in always as, especially when it's in the upright, in this sense of where, fortune is really just like kind of like the self-explanatory message of like fortune's coming to you relatively soon. Virgo. So keep your head up, really. Keep your head up. Do what you can to really just prioritize this week, Virgo, in terms of your mental health. Put your mental health in as the priority slot rather than putting productivity in like the physical world and feeling as if you need to be making money at all times or what have you, Virgo. Take this week and allow yourself that your productivity is you tending to your mental health, you tending to what's feeling like how you are feeling, so you don't experience any further burnout and just existing in life, honey, right? We always talk about the burnout of going through creative burnout or burnout at work. But honey, I don't know, maybe I'm just alone in this, Virgo, but honey, I have burnout about life sometimes, right? It's not like I want to like die or anything, but it's like, it'd be nice if I could just like check out of this game real quick, this little video game that we call this world for a few days, for a week, honey. You not have to worry about bills, not have to worry about stresses, not have to worry about my health, honey. Not have to worry about nothing. Are you kidding me? Give me a vacation, darling. Sign me up. Right? So you're only human. Have your moment to just be okay. The world's still going to be there a week later if you give yourself this week off and tending to yourself. So now, Virgo, enough with those messages, darling. Let's get into the messages your spirit guides have for you this week. Right? Let's see what messages your spirit guides have for you. Now these messages, Virgo, these are messages for people who are not sensitive, darling, right? Because your spirit guides are just here to get you to from point A to point B, trying to see where you can improve on yourself, right? 4 is coming in twice for you, so I really want to hone in on the number 4 for you, Virgo, and for that to be your number to let go. I say let go because the groundhog spirit says time to let go. For you to look up later and see how it coordinates with your life, Virgo. But the groundhog spirit, time to let go. This is, kind of accepting things for how they are, as I was already saying, Virgo, so I'm not going to hone on this too much, but, just let go of the idea of how things, you feel like how things should be, right? Let go of that idea and just take things day by day, darling, right? Just because the groundhog says, like, I don't quite remember. I'm about to expose how ignorant I am. I don't quite remember, like, how exactly Groundhog Day works, where it's like it sees its shadow and something's gonna, like, winter or something's gonna last longer, like that. Just because the groundhog sees its shadow, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the case is necessarily going to be, darling, right? We can say it's like, oh, winter's going to end. Watch me be so ignorant. I don't know how Groundhog Day works. I just go by what Google tells me, honey. You can be set up for winter ending by X date, but, that's not always going to be the case, darling. That's just part of life. But let's get into this a little bit deeper. We have here the 3 of Swords in the upright with the 7 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles in the inverted. So I'm going to hold these 2 cards up as well in the upright just because, so y'all can see the artwork of it, honey. Y'all don't need to see it upside down, right? What's the purpose of me showing these cards, darling, if I can't show you the artwork of them? So this 3 of Swords here, this is talking about the pain. Time to let go of that pain, right? Self-explanatory, Virgo, but there is almost like this attachment, right? Almost hoping that you'll be perceived in a better way, almost hoping at some point, if you continue on in this way, that, by the magic of God, darling, right, things just somehow just work out. And because here's the thing, Five of Pentacles, when this is in the upright, this is like not feeling like you belong. When it's in the inverted and leaving that situation, right, being like, oh, it's not for me in this deck anyways. And so when it's inverted, this is you kind of in denial about this situation just not being good for you. You know, not being in denial about this pain, essentially, that this Three of Swords talks about, Virgo. And the Seven of Wands comes in as this odd message of where it's just like perception of other people towards you, Virgo. I don't know if you are just in this sense of like insecurity and maybe you're internalizing the situation that you need to let go of in your life, Virgo, that there's something wrong with you. You're worried about like how you're being perceived in this situation, Virgo. Let's do a card with this. Yeah, Knight of Cups. It almost feels as if like you're worried about how you're being perceived by other people, or if you choose to like leave this situation, it's almost as if you have this fear that this is going to ruin future opportunities or future things for you. So that's why you're kind of clinging on to this. Or maybe you're having this fear that this Knight of Cups, this opportunity, a new person, whatever, coming in, new things just wouldn't come to you in general. So that's why you're clinging on to this and you're just like, oh, I don't want to let go of this, right? Whatever that storyline is for you, but it's just time to let go of it, Virgo. Easier said than done, though, right? I acknowledge that just because I'm just reading some tarot cards, right? You're the one having to actually go through the situation, Virgo. So now, darling, let's get into the good things coming towards you, Virgo. Let's see what good things are coming towards you. What can we expect from my Virgos? Where are the good things in the works? New moon in Gemini. Communication is key. So you're going to be getting some communication. How is this in the good works for you? Are you guys, Virgo, waiting to hear back from something? Waiting to hear back from a job, college? Waiting to hear back from a person on the results of something? Did you guys take a test recently? Did you ask for a loan on something? Waiting back to hear on a loan? Let's get into this a little bit deeper. New moon in Gemini. So new moons do represent as well, Virgo, new opportunities, new things in general. So I do feel like this is leaning into just something that's just not already in the works, if that makes sense. Let's take a look here. We have the Fool card, emphasizing the new, darling, right? In the upright, a new chapter. Ace of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse coming in here. So communication is key. Some type of communication coming forward to you brings forth a new chapter in your life, Virgo. Ace of Swords as well as the Eight of Pentacles, which was inverted for you, lets me believe that you weren't thinking this was possible. I really feel like a lot of you guys, this is really elevating like your career or your education in some way. Because of this Eight of Pentacles, Ace of Swords as well lets me know where it's just like, this is where you just had your doubts in terms of this new journey. So some type of communication is going to be had coming forward to you, Virgo, that's really going to open things up. Something that you really weren't expecting to actually hear back from, right? It's like you put your application in somewhere, Knight of Wands, you really felt passionately about this, and this is going to be coming to you quickly, right? You weren't anticipating this, and it's just like, actually, you're the perfect one for the job, Virgo. Knight of Wands comes in, so it's going to be coming in rather quickly, this communication, and it's going to definitely be spurring, I feel like, a bunch of movement for you, Virgo. So, yeah. All right, now, Virgo, let's get into your social situations now. Let's see what social situations are, what your social situation is looking like this week, darling. And when I say social situations, this could be romantic or this could be platonic, Virgo. It doesn't have to be either way. Well, it doesn't have to be just romantic, rather, I want to say. You know, I always hate the emphasis on just romance in our lives, because not all of us are doing something with romance. So we have the Eagle Spirit. Spirit has your back, Virgo. You may have been seeing some eagles recently. That's been a sign from your spirit guides coming in. So you may have been seeing eagles on the internet. You may have been seeing them on some shows, crystals, what have you. I say crystals because I actually have I gave my friend a crystal that was carved as an eagle, little eagle standing on a perch. So you may have been seeing Spirit in that way, Virgo. So Spirit has your back when it comes to social connections. Are you having anxiety about a situation with somebody? Four of Cups comes in here. Yeah, you are having some anxiety about a situation. You're kind of unsure about this and being like, oh no, like something in your social life, you're just like, kind of has you on edge. Kind of has you on edge, Virgo, I'm getting. Let's see. Knight of Pentacles inverted, yeah. High Priestess in the upright, as well as the Magician card inverted. So these two cards, we're gonna, of course, you already know the drill, Virgo. High Priestess card, quite literally, Virgo, your intuition is right when it comes to this situation here. I don't know what it's about, darling. Could be positive, could be negative. I'm gonna be leaning more so towards the negative side. Negative, right? Of where it's like you're not having a good feeling about something, because Knight of Pentacles with the Magician card inverted, this is where it's just like, where this journey's taking you with this person's trying to take you to, it's bad enabling behavior, right? I mean, you look at the Four of Cups, literally, this is like, I mean, honey, let me not be roasting these people too much. I be looking like this sometimes. But, you know, they're just not doing anything, not being productive, could be drinking, bad habits, what have you, right? Magician card, Knight of Pentacles, this being inverted for you shows to you where it's like these people are just very counterproductive to where you're trying to go in life, essentially, Virgo. So in this kind of situation, your intuition is right. I'm getting this strong sense that you guys are thinking about bailing out on something, or, you know, piecing out and being like, you know what, this just isn't for me. I'm not a match, y'all. Peace out, right? Your intuition is right with something, though. Spirit has your back on this. If you've been looking for some type of outside approval, Virgo, you know, maybe you're just stressing out and being like, oh, do these people, like, what if I'm being crazy? What if I'm being paranoid? You're not. High Priestess card coming in the upright. It just spells out, like, these cards just spelled out such a very specific message. Like, and my Virgos who've come to who are regulars for here, like, no, like, I don't go into those type of drama-filled, like, narratives usually. I'm very much, like, optimistic, but it's just, like, that kind of, like, spelled out so clearly. Virgo. So now let's get into your financial and career this week, Virgo. Let's see what's going on there. Stag Spirit coming in here. Fourth, again, third time for this four. Take the lead for the Stag Spirit stepping forward for you. Taking the lead in terms of your work life, in terms of your finances. So there's definitely going to be something showing up for you this week, Virgo, or where you can have the opportunity to take a chance on something. Stags are known to be moving around a lot as well, and I can't help but be thinking about your previous spreads that we had for you, Virgo, of where some communication is being brought towards you that gets things going, right? So let's go a little bit deeper at this. What card came out? Five of Wands inverted, taking the lead. So this card is usually talking about blockages and usually conflict. So this is, I'm going to go into two narratives here real quick, just so I can cover both of the bases of this card for people. One way, if this is in terms of like your work life with people, if there's drama in the work life, Virgo, or just drama associated with your work and money in whatever way, this is a card asking you to take the higher road, disengage, be the bigger person, lead by example. Don't sit in this energy. Lead by example, Virgo. Now, if this is in terms of just like overall, just like not a social portion of it, this is just talking about the obstacles being removed, right? Being rectified. So take that as you will. Now let's go into these three clarifiers. We have the Two of Pentacles inverted, the Page of Swords in the upright with the King of Swords in the upright. Y'all know the drill. Virgo, Page or Two of Pentacles being inverted. I like this a lot because this is you kind of throwing, like, I like to see this card as having your plate full, Virgo. So when it's inverted like this, I kind of see you like tossing your hands in the air, being like, oh, plate's full, done, like clearing away, kind of like pressing the reset button with something, you know, which would be why you'd be taking the high road. King of Swords, Page of Swords comes in. The King of Swords, I mean, obviously I'm going to be a little bit biased just because I'm a Libra and I identify with the King of Swords, darling. But the King of Swords is someone who's very mature, very much so not reactive. You can't quite tell what they're thinking, but they're always of elevated thought. So when you take this kind of mindset, very much so grandfatherly communication, right? Very much so stern, but with love, but very filled with wisdom, right? Very much so controlled, very, yeah, you get the point. Page of Swords leads in the communication, new communication. So what I would be saying, it's a common theme for communication for you, Virgo. I would be really saying for you, Virgo, overall, this is a week where, especially since you had the High Priestess card in the upright, your intuition is spot on. You really have a good relationship with your intuition. Lean into that more, I would say, Virgo. When it comes to your opportunities, when it comes to, like, if you are in a work-life situation and there's drama there, tread lightly, don't engage, you know, do your job, worry about your job. And because I feel like something's going to end up happening in that type of environment where it's just like, you know, if your boss comes in and they just hear about drama, they're going to be like, well, you're all fired, get out of here, right? Whereas if you were just focusing on your thing, it'll just reflect better, as an example, right? But yeah, I just feel like disengaging is the best route for you to be taking, Virgo. So let's close out your reading now, darling, with a quote card, with a affirmation card, positive affirmation card, rather. Let's see what positive affirmation my Virgos can take for the week. The universe works fast when I'm having fun. So remember, can we talk about, excuse me, Virgo, humor? Oh, this is the groundhog spirit. Where is it? Humor card. Humor card. We start your reading, Virgo, with humor. We end your reading talking about having fun. Lighten up, Virgo, right? I say this with love, right? We can all get in our spirals where we start feeling sorry for ourselves, because we all can find plenty of reasons to feel sorry for ourselves, all of us. And it's okay too. But don't get caught up in that. Don't treat what it is you're treating yourself sorry for as your own reality, as like the only reality, right? There's so many other good things in the world. And really, when you fall, and like, you know, instead of being mad that you fell, just laugh about it, darling, because it's funny. Right? Find the humor in things. And I feel like once you get through this week, like by the end of this week, you'll be, I have a quote, one of my favorite quotes actually, where it's said, it's signatured on a forum that I'm on, and it's called, the quote goes along, I forget who it goes by, but it's like, laugh about it now because you're going to laugh about it later. And I love that quote so much, and I feel like you guys could really relate to that quote this week, Virgo. But yeah, that is reading that I have for you this week, Virgo. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to book a private personal reading with me, my website is SimplyVelca.com. I leave it linked down below, along with my social medias. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram is all just SimplyVelca. And yeah, I love you so much, Virgo. I appreciate so much for you to allow me to do this reading for you, and hopefully I can connect with you sometime in the near future. I love you so much.